Hello, good afternoon and welcome to my humble model railway. It's 12:15 on a Sunday afternoon. We're going to be having a slightly later Sunday lunch, so I'll be going down shortly to put the meat on. Now, I'm looking around my layout today and seeing what's on there for my Sunday session. And down in the platform there is Lorna Doone. There we are, the lovely Lorna Doone. Edwardian, Victorian elegance. Went on to be Edwardian afterwards, of course, and then they were withdrawn, unfortunately, in 1915. But there's our lovely Lorna Doone. I've got a video dedicated to Lorna Doone. There's our platform with our naval personnel waiting for the train. In the fire platform, see if we can zoom in. There we are. We can see a 14XX, and also you can see an Ivatt 262T. Okay, so I was thinking about what the theme of my railway chat's going to be about today. And by video, obviously, I usually concentrate on various locomotives and talk about them, which I will be doing. But I think also we may go on to another subject. Sorry for my little bit unsteady there. Now, I'm using my new camera, a Canon M50. And it's got something called dual pixel autofocus. And I think, in all honesty, it seems to be going into focus a lot faster, which is good. Now, something we'll talk about, and perhaps to begin with, will be referring to my previous videos about Save from the Scrap Heap or Save from the Skip. This is another item I saved from the skip. Here, right in front of us. This little Hornby controller. It's got a little bolt missing just there, one of the bolts sold for the supplementary power, and this was this came as part of the industrial freights train set. Now, I'm using this today because sadly and unfortunately, and I think it was my fault, my beloved Gauge Master controller has given up the ghost. It was over 30 years old, and I put a faulty locomotive onto the tracks. And it killed one channel, and then it killed the second channel, because I tried it on the second channel. And I suddenly realised it was the locomotive that was doing this. And really, what I established it was that there was no power coming out of my Gauge Master controller at all. The locomotives weren't moving. Whereas with this little controller, everything works. And I mean, these Hornby controllers, I know they're sort of much maligned. I mean, these come with Hornby train sets, and they're probably the cheapest thing you can buy, but they work. And at the end of the day, we'll see what this one looks like working as we see our Hornby Star Class going around the track. We're going to zoom back a little bit. There we are. And what we're going to do is we've got the Star Class up there on the main line. Here we are. There he is on the main line there, waiting for the right of way, waiting with the guard to blow his whistle. So, without any further ado, we'll get underway with our Hornby Star Class. Now, as you see, the little Hornby controller, even though it was meant for the little industrial freight train set, it's working. And for those of you who have not seen my other videos regarding the sort of Save from the Skip videos or Hornby train set videos, there's a number of items which were offered to me by my sister, which she was about to throw away because it was all kept in a leaky shed. All the cardboard boxes were soaking wet, but I managed to save most of what was there. I saved 4 locomotives, A great deal of rolling stock. All the boxes are quite damaged, but I've managed to get them more or less back up together as best I can. And then finally, this Hornby controller. Now I will admit, some people are going to be shouting out the word bodger at me. I know, bodge. But in a moment, it's all together. I reconnected these wires by twisting them around using insulation tape. I know, I should be soldering them and putting on a shrink wrap, but I wanted to see if this controller worked, and this was the quickest way to find out. And as you see, it does. Our Hornby Star Class is now taking its passengers away on its happy trip. Now, one of the locomotives we'll be featuring quite shortly is going to be a 14XX, and some interest was actually raised by a YouTuber called Mike. I think he's Modern Railways Unlimited, and he was he sort of sent me a message asking about strawberries being grown on the strawberry line, or being carried on the strawberry line. And it's true, they were. The Cheddar Valley Railway was called the strawberry line, and quite shortly you'll be seeing a train, some of the trains which are used on the lines which came out of Yatton Station. Okay, so we'll be putting our magnificent Star Class in just a moment. We're going to just bring her down there. And you can see the control's not bad, is it? I mean, for a cheap little train set controller, not bad at all. Okay, so here we go. We're going to have to change the points again. So what we're going to do now is, I've been doing this handheld with the camera, so it'll be a little bit of a jolt perhaps when we put this on the tripod. We'll see how we get on. We're going to go with the tripod in just a moment, and then we can start to film in earnest. Okay, maybe with a jolt as it drops down into the tripod slot. There we are. It's got a quick release on there. Now the tripod's nice and steady, or the camera is. Now please forgive me if I kick the tripod getting up and down to do these points. We're working in a very restricted space. Probably as you gather, you can see the side of the wall there. Okay, and you'll probably gather why my railway is called Bedstead Junction. I call it Bedstead Junction because it's on a bed. Basically, you can see it clearly on a bed, and it's the only place I can actually do a modern railway. And I think that might be part of one of the things I'll be talking about today. So if you bear with me just a moment, and when I keep saying bear with me just one moment, it might be annoying some people, but I used to actually say that when I was on the telephone at work. And if I wanted someone just to hold the line, I'd say bear with me just a moment. But that's something which carried on into my retirement. It was just I was going to say bear with me just a moment, but there we go. Okay, I'll just change the points. And we'll be following our magnificent Star Class into the station, hopefully. I'll be able to see that with this particular controller, it's not too bad. I mean, considering it was kept in a shed for a wet shed for years, it's not too bad. Let's see, we've got some control there. There we go. We'll try to pan as we go in. I'm trying to practice my panning skills with the controller. Of course, eye to hand coordination here is necessary, and this is very much experimental. You'll have to forgive me for the odd jolt here and there. There we are. So our magnificent Star Class is in the station now, and I'm sort of getting myself acquainted with the tripod again, using the tripod. I used to use this with a camcorder many years ago, and I've got the camera now mounted on the tripod, and obviously what you're trying to do is to coordinate controlling the tripod with the right hand, and controlling turning the controller dial with the left hand, whilst concentrating on what I'm saying. And I mean, if we do get a disaster, then it will be on camera, but hopefully I won't. Okay, so if you just bear with me just a moment again, I've said it again. We're going to change the points. I'll be moving this train just forward just a tiny bit, hopefully. There we go. And it's not too bad, the controllability with this controller. I mean, I did turn it around quite suddenly then. I'm just going to see about getting our Airfix 14XX out onto the tracks. And you see up there, that's the sidings up there for it, and the junctions just there. Now this one hasn't been used for quite some time, this Airfix model. We'll talk about it just if we can get it going. Here we go, it's working, here we go. Look at that, Airfix. A little bit noisy in reverse, I will agree. But bear in mind, this is probably something like 40 years old, this locomotive, possibly. And I bought this second hand at a toy and train fair, I think it was, or it may have been the Model Railway exhibition, I can't remember, in Bristol. And this is the box it came in. GMR, Great Model Railways, Airfix. And the box was damaged, and also the handrails on the side of the cab were damaged, but I knew that when I bought it. But I did buy it for quite a cheap price, and at the time I would say I didn't see any 14XXs about, especially in BR livery. I wanted to get one in BR livery, which this one is. It's in the Lakecrest BR livery, and we'll watch it going around in just a moment. And we'll move the controller to go forward. Now we need to just make a quick change on here. There's an additional point I just need to change before we can have the right of way. A schoolboy error, I forgot to change the points for the star class, but please forgive me for that. Right, now we're going to get away now, hopefully. Over points quite easily. We'll follow around our 14XX. And these two locomotives we're about to see today have got great relevance to the Bristol area, or at least close to the Bristol area, or in the West Country. Now these were commonly seen going into Yatton Station. Now there were two branch lines running from Yatton Station, which is on the main line from Paddington, and that was one branch line going to Clevedon, and these were seen on the Clevedon branch with auto coaches just like these. And in fact these are both Airfix items. This is an Airfix locomotive, and we've also got an Airfix coach. And again, I picked these up at a Model Railway exhibition on one of the trade stands. No, in fact I didn't. I tell a lie. I'm telling you porcupines here. This one came from Trains of Bristol. I talked about Trains of Bristol before. That was a shop which used to be in Bedminster in Bristol, and it was two gentlemen that were there. It was a gentleman called Derek and his son. Derek was the owner of the business. Very nice gentleman, and a place where I spent many happy hours. Unfortunately the shop's gone now, but good memories of that. That's why I bought that one. I did buy some of my other Airfix ones at the at various toy and train fairs. That one came from Trains of Bristol. Now see, our 14XX isn't running too badly. It's going over points quite well. And these models have come under a certain amount of criticism by people. Remember, I think a lot of people are opinions are probably sort of guided by the fact that they're running old locomotives. so they're expecting probably too much from them. And also probably they could do with a service, a clean. With a bit of TLC, you can get a locomotive running exactly like this. And I'll explain to you what's different about these to the Dapple and to the Hornby locomotives, 14XXs. In fact, the body shell's probably identical almost to the later Dapple and Hornby offerings. Now these auto trains, or auto coaches, they were meant to run in both directions. So it saved running the locomotive round the train, saved the use of turntables and everything else like that. And in fact, what the driver would do would be to go into the cab on the carriage at the far end, and he could control the locomotive while the locomotive was running in reverse. And the fireman actually stayed with the locomotive itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow this one down, and we're going to see what it's like in reverse. I mean, obviously it's a little bit noisier, and I have had some coupling. These are incompatible couplings. The Airfix coach has got a small coupling, whereas the locomotive's got a big decoupling, so coupling can be a bit of an adventure. I would try to change the couplings if I could, but really, to be honest with you, I managed to get them to work up until now. But there we are. Now we're running in the opposite direction. So basically, what would happen is you arrive at a station terminus like Clevedon, and then you would have the driver in the end of the coach where you can see the bell. Let's just so we can stop around here. We can see a little bit there. We see if we can zoom in a little bit as well. Ah, there we are. We're on the coach. See if we can zoom in a bit. We'll see if we can get focus on there. Well, you can possibly see. Yeah, there we go. We're in focus now, and you can see what on the end of the very end of the carriage there. There's a bell, and that would be used by the driver to warn people of his approach, as opposed to using the whistle, as far as I'm aware. And what he would do is he would actually control the locomotive with a series of communication rods, I believe. Okay, so that was it. So it's actually running as if it was actually leaving the station now. Now mechanically these have got a different motor to what we would see. I mean, the Hornby and Dapple have both put their own motors into these, but outwardly they look the same really. Now the other difference is with the Airfix model is how the current is picked up from the wheels, and that's actually done with special little plungers. They're kind of spring loaded plungers. Now if you find you've got one of these, you've got running problems, it could be just that the plungers are stuck. Okay, they're like little telescopic plungers on springs, and they go in contact with the backs of the wheels rather than the kind of contacts that we're used to seeing, like the pickups we're used to seeing. But as you see, it's working quite well. We're having no problem on points, and we're running around quite lovely there. Now these were in use up until 1960 on the Clevedon branch, and then I believe there were class 121 bubble car units put on there instead for diesel. It was all part of the British Rail Modernisation programme. Unfortunately then there was a beaching report, and then the very branch lines that the diesels were designed for were closed, or a lot of them were closed, which is a shame. But these were in use up until 1960. And there was a special bay platform at Yatton station for the Cheddar Valley line on one side, and for Clevedon on the other. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run our 14XX in just a moment. We'll let it go around one more time, I think. So as you can see this is an Airfix coach, auto coach, and also an Airfix 14XX locomotive. So we're going to come round to the junction now. You can see not bad, is it? It's a little bit jerky, a little bit. You can excuse that. I mean, it's over 40 years old, and I don't know how this locomotive was, how much it was used before I bought it. Let's have a look. So we're going to see her going up the junction now, and watch her going into the platform. There. Quick change. And there we are, we're into the station perfectly well there. Our class 14 XX. And there we are, we're in focus there. And you can see the two stations there. You've got the small little branch line platform, the station halt, and you've got the country station there beyond it. They're both Hornby. Okay, very nice little kits actually. I quite like them. Quite happy with them, to be honest. And then you may as well see it, but then the difference is just here. You can see the roof of it. See if we can focus it. Oh, there we are. That's the super quick kit there. That's that island platform there, which is where we can see our lovely Lorna Doone and the Star class. Okay, now the next locomotive we're going to be seeing is up here, right up in the top corner there, an Ivatt class 262T. It's a Bachmann, and it's one of the split chassis locomotives there. Okay, Ivatt class 262T tank. There. And I bought this, must be back in the late 90s, I would have thought. It's a split chassis locomotive, but we'll see her in action in just a moment. And we just changed the direction of the controller. There we go. And hopefully our Ivatt class 262T is going to come out. There we are. It's quite an impressive little runner, to be honest with you. I'm quite pleased with this one. There's your sword just come out of the reversing out of the station. Change the points of the main line, and we can be away. And we can have a look and see what we're looking at. Now the Ivatt 262Ts. We're transferred onto the strawberry line. There we go, and we're away. Just getting used to that controller switch on the Hornby controller there. There we are, so we're away now. Bit of an abrupt start, I would say. There we are, now we're in focus on it. These were drafted in for use on the Cheddar Valley line. Now the Cheddar Valley line ran from Yatton, so it would have been you catch it on the opposite side platform to the Cleveland branch, and that ran onto Wells and then onto Whittam. So it went through Cranmore. It went to Wells, and then some lines radiated from Wells. Now Wells is not served. It's Wells. We're not talking about Wells as in the country, but Wells as in the city of Wells. It was good. There are 3 different railways actually serving Wells, and the Strawberry line was one of them. You had the Somerset and Dorset, which came up from Glastonbury, which was closed in 1951, and then you had the line which ran through Cranmore, which went from Whittam and then to Wells. So Wells basically had 3 railways running into it, and the Strawberry line unfortunately was closed in 1963. Now I don't have any railway examples at the moment to show you of what the a Strawberry line train would have looked like, but I'm about to find out. Now we're looking at a locomotive in perfectly still at the moment. But I've just bought it. I've got a book called Branch Lines of Somerset by Colin G. Maggs. That's going to be a good reference to the line. And I've just bought this DVD here. We'll just see if we can zoom out a little bit so we can see it better. There we are. Members of the Cheddar Valley branch, the Strawberry line. Updated April 2013. It's a DVD. I want to watch this. Okay. And according to this on here, we're going to see the last Strawberry specials loading up at Draycott Station. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I won't be putting this video onto YouTube. I think somebody already has, okay? But obviously for copyright reasons, I'm not going to do it myself. And also, I bought the DVD. I paid out for this. It came from a company called Wolverton Rail. Okay, so that's going to be worth watching, and that give us some more insights as to the Strawberry line. And the Ivats were obviously originally a Midland Railway locomotive, but with the coming of British Railways, there was a certain amount of mixing and matching with the trains. Now we'll just watch it go pull away again, nice and smoothly. Now the coaches again are related to Bachmann, in that one of the coaches is a mainline coach and the other one is Replica Railways. Now the brake coach is a mainline coach, and then Replica Railways, the name took over from mainline, and then eventually the whole company evolved into Bachmann. So you've got all 3 different evolutions or names included in one train. So you're getting basically 3 for the price of 1 today. Now the Strawberry line, you can walk along the Strawberry line today, and there are certain parts of the Strawberry line you can actually see. If you go on the bypass, the Axbridge bypass, you can actually see what was Axbridge train station. It's still there. And you can I pulled over on the side of the road. I've actually gone over and photographed it. And in fact, the actual bypass I think sits on the top of what was some of the Cheddar Valley line. But you can actually walk and cycle on the Cheddar Valley line now. I've cycled down part of it. It's quite an interesting day out. And in fact, the Strawberry line is actually mentioned. If you see the first, I think it's in the first series of Micah Portillo's Great British Railway Journeys, he does actually feature the Strawberry line. You can imagine loads of strawberries being loaded up from Draycott, and from other locations along the strawberry line. The strawberries, I think, even grew alongside the line. And now, sorry about the break there. I think we've reached the maximum recording time, so it tells me. I think it just stopped recording then. Got a 30-minute recording limit, so I'll have to bear in mind when I'm sat here yakking away. I hope you find what I'm saying interesting. Oh, Michael Portillo we were talking about. Yeah, so he actually featured the Cheddar Valley line on his Great British Railway Journeys series. I think it was on series number 1. And you can imagine, yeah, we were talking about strawberries, weren't we? Strawberries going to away from Draycott Station, a place like that, probably being eaten at Wimbledon while people are watching the tennis. Now, I hope you've enjoyed my video today. We've run just shortly over the half-hour limit, so I'll probably have to splice these 2 bits of video together on the editor, and I will add a title. For those of you who saw my mainline colic goods and pannier tank video, which I made a couple of days ago, I think yesterday or the day before, I do apologise for the error. Some of you may see it in the title, and you can actually see it. If you want to watch that, you can see my my clanger, my absolute clanger. I called it mainline. I put a letter M in where an N should have been. Some of you may have seen that. I do apologise for that. I didn't see it before I actually sort of rendered and published a video. And I didn't see it until after I actually published it on YouTube. So I do apologise for that small error there. Hopefully today I will be able to spell the title correctly. Okay, so that's our Ivatt 262T going around the track. And I think these were used on a commemorative specials. 2 of them were used, I think, to take a train down one of the last runs down the Somerset and Dorset branch line from Evercreech Junction to Highbridge. I think these were used on a double heading to take a big rail tour. In fact, a lot of the railway lines before they closed, once it became public knowledge and people were getting into public consciousness, they started to run lots of steam specials down these railway lines, and they seem quite popular. Sometimes you wish the line was just as popular. So I just talked to the tripod then. Sometimes you wish the lines were just as popular as when they were being ridden on by these specials. Anyway, on a positive note, you can get to go on a lot of these branch lines which have been closed. And I'll be going on what was a branch line come main line quite shortly, and I'll be doing a video of it. I'll feature, and that's one of my local lines. It's not too far away from me now, and now that the lockdown has come to a relief, I'm hoping to do some actual, not just modern railway videos, but some actual train videos featuring actual steam trains. Okay, so if you like what you see, press like. Want to see more videos, subscribe and ring that bell, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the future. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your interest. Thank you, and goodbye.